shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Hey, it's me, and welcome to Trump Mafia. Now in this video I'm going to talk about Roseanne Barr, because she's a very good example of what I'm talking about when I mention the Trump Nation. And for many months I've been talking about the Trump Nation, and some people were asking me, what is a Trump Nation? Because it's not the conservative nation, or it's not the Christian nation. The Trump Nation is really the rebirth of our nation under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump. And we're talking about a new direction, a change. And of course it took someone like President Donald J. Trump for this change to happen, and we've only just begun. But ever since the election, you really know that everything in a way already has changed. Politics, the economy, culture. Now last year we saw the storm, which started with Harvey Weinstein, and it's still going on. And it's empowering a lot of women. It's also exposing a lot of the ills on the Democrat side. And it talks about the role of women and the interactions between men and women, especially in the workplace, or how people handle power. And so I've been saying that President Trump and Steve Mnuchin, who does have Hollywood experience, he knows all of the gossips, they orchestrated this storm, in my opinion, and it snowballed, and it's been excellent, because a lot of women have been empowered, but at the same time you're also exposing the Hollywood swamp, the media swamp. Who would have thought Matt Lauer was such a pervert and such an abuser, for example? Now when I talk about the Trump Nation, I'm really talking about anyone who enters a Trump Nation. And you have to be a patriot, you have to be an American citizen, you have to love your country. But other than that, you can agree, disagree, but America does come first. And so you have converted Democrats, you have rhinos, you have libertarians, you have conservatives, you have people of all religions and races. But about the Trump Nation, the thing that sets it apart, it's not identity politics. On the left you have a coalition, and the blacks, and the whites, and the Asians. But we're talking about Americans here. It doesn't even matter what you look like and what you stand for, as long as you're an American citizen and you're on board with putting the nation first. That's the Trump Nation. Now, the reason I see Roseanne Barr as a good example, it's because she's not a conservative, she's not a liberal, or she's a little bit of both. But what I'm talking about is a person with common sense, a person that also understands that there are many evils lurking in the underground, in the underbelly, if you will, and that we really do need to shake it up and change so that we can be a better nation, and to get along, to use common sense. And that's not a conservative principle, it's not a liberal principle, it's a human kind of principle. And putting the nation first, being patriotic, and unifying, it's an American thing. And it doesn't have to take a world war or a massive disaster for us to unite. And I have my ultra-conservative views, as I always said. I put them in a little box, which I call Pandora's box. Because it's not about me, it's about the Trump Nation. And President Trump has that ambition, he has that objective. That's why he wants to expand the GOP, so that he can orchestrate this conversion of many Democrats towards the Trump nation, towards common sense, towards the nation putting America first, and it's all about being American. So of course, if being American and citizenship and the nation comes first, you have to make sure that the borders are secure, that your country is secure, that you have a strong military, and that it shouldn't be that easy just to say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be American. No. You have to have extreme vetting, and those people that are allowed in have to assimilate and become part of the Trump nation. And really, it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard. Now, Roseanne Barr is a good example also because she understands that it's the working class people that really made the country great, and it's people with ordinary opinions that really embody the we the people, and that is what the founding fathers wanted. In fact, when they were thinking about Congress and reps, they really thought about ordinary people. It wasn't like that you would have these professional politicians. No, we're talking about businessmen. Way back when, they wore different hats. They were philosophers / businessmen / politicians. And what we have now is it's really a hybrid of sorts. President Donald J. Trump is a businessman, but he was also very successful on TV, and he's very successful as a politician, and it goes on and on. And you look at Roseanne Barr, and you could say the same. So we're talking about a type of hybrid here that you don't have the elitist classes of politicians or the establishment and people that are living in ivory towers controlling the masses and sucking them dry, if you will. That really the power reverts back to we the people. As President Trump often says, the people that won the election are not the elitists in the media, the left or the right media. It's not the donors. The people that won are the forgotten men and women of America. And that is why President Trump won, and he knows that. You cannot imagine how many people out there are not online, their voices are not heard, and yet they suffered for decades. And they had no way to express what they felt. They had no way to make a change. And it's very hard because you love your country. I mean, you're proud of your nation, but you're not treated well by the nation, and your voice is not heard, and it's hard to feel that you're part of we the people. But everything has changed, and President Trump is making that possible. In fact, his tweets, he's talking directly to the people, and we can hear from him exactly what he's thinking, what he's doing, and he's keeping his promises, and he's delivering. He's not all talk and no walk. And the most important part is that, yes, he's a family man, and he is working very hard for all of us. He didn't have to do this. And at the same time, I bring back Roseanne Barr. We're also talking about a family person, a patriot, and someone who uses a lot of common sense. And when you see evil, you point it out. You fight against it when you can. And you also try to better life and to unite and to put the nation first, and everything will be okay. Now, I'm talking about a major change here because the Trump nation is a concept. It's not something that we've had before, really. But it was always the intention of the founding fathers, and everything that President Trump is doing now is exactly what the founding fathers wanted. So I call it the Trump nation, only to signify that this is only possible through having elected a changed president who is not a puppet like President Donald J. Trump. So I give that respect, just like the border wall will be called the Trump wall. But in essence, what I'm talking about is making America great again, and it's America. And the Trump nation is really the rebirth of what America should always have been, a nation of winners. And we're united, and we're the best, and no one can beat us. But most of all, it's about we the people. It's the American people that always made the country great, not the elitists, not little establishments, not the media. No, it has always been we the people. The power of the American people when united, I mean, there is no equal in the world. And President Trump has said that at rallies, and we know that's true. And we have to work towards that. And the beauty is also we have freedom of speech. And we have the Second Amendment. I mean, these are qualities that other countries long for, at least the people in their countries. I mean, look at Iran now. These people are put down and they're slaughtered in the streets because they're rising up, because they're under a dictatorship. They don't have the First Amendment. They don't have the Second Amendment. They have nothing. But we have it. And we have the Second Amendment. They don't have that anywhere in Europe. These people are still living on a continent where the elitists can be armed and the people are subjugated in a way, and they will always be. They cannot really defend themselves when tyranny comes. And you could see the European Union as being a form of tyranny. It's a soft tyranny, and it's always going to get worse because that's how it works. But we are the USA, and we're a nation of freedom, and that's why when I see freedom fighters like Roseanne Barr, with common sense, representing we the people, a patriot, a hybrid of sorts, not left, not right, just an American citizen, that's what we need. You know, we have to get away from this, liberal conservative seesaw that, in fact, the elitists have created for so many decades, and then you have a puppet president. It doesn't even matter if it's a Bush or a Clinton or an Obama. It's the same. It's the same thing. And people really get punished in a way, and the power is not with we the people. But everything has changed, and you can see that President Trump is starting by liberating the economy and cutting taxes, tax reform. And it's such a relief to so many people, individuals, people that have little businesses, medium businesses. It's kind of bringing back that freedom, taking away so many regulations, get the government out of your life, right? And so President Trump really understands what the founding fathers wanted. And Roseanne Barr, to me, is one of those examples of what we need more of. Fighters, and not somebody stuck in a little corner and giving the middle finger to the rest of the nation. And I'm not talking about compromising. I'm not talking about becoming someone else. No, I'm talking about being loyal to the nation, being loyal to the fight between good and evil, and being on the right side. It's not that difficult. We gotta fight evil, but it's also about respecting what it is to be American and to be part of we the people, the American people. And that is the Trump nation that I'm talking about.
All right.